Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Keisha Parris Show. I have with me Debra, who is a model, an actor, a painter, a musician. Oh my gosh, a man that has so many different creative mind. And welcome, Debra, to the show. How are you?
I'm doing very well. About yourself?
I am doing amazing, amazing. It is nice to meet you.
It's nice to meet you.
Yeah,
too.
you're tall. How tall are you?
I'm like 6'2".
6'2". You used to play basketball or anything?
Yeah, back in the day. I was never that good at it though, but I did used to play.
What, for school? You did it in school?
Yeah, I did it for school and just in the neighborhood.
Yeah,
I stopped playing like sophomore year.
Oh, in school. Where did you go to school?
I went to school at Cox Mill in Concord.
Oh, nice. My son goes to Cox Mill.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, my son goes to Cox Mill. He's on the football team for Cox Mill High School. And shout out to Devontae Parks, my son. Hello.
Shout out to Devontae.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's nice meeting you. You are a man of a great mind and great creativity.
I appreciate that.
Talk to me about everything that you do. So I know that you act, you modeled. I know that you were an actor. I know that you paint. You're a musician.
Yeah, so what better place to start than the beginning?
Yeah, from the beginning, all the way from the top.
When I grew up, when I was a kid, I always was drawing and whatnot, and I took it very seriously because I don't know why. I always had like a mind for the future. Like I always thought about what I wanted to be and what I wanted to do. And I just remember when I was a kid, people asked me, like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I always had the same answer. And the list just got smaller and smaller. But I want to be an actor, model, artist, and a scientist and a veterinarian. And that's what I used to say. And then, scientist dropped off and then veterinarian dropped off.
Yes.
And then soon enough, acting dropped off. And then it was just pretty much art. And then I got into music as well through my friends. Like through middle school and whatnot, I did a lot of acting. And I was in like a couple different acting schools. Okay. And that's how I got into modeling, was through acting. 'Cause I used to be I was a bit more of a chubbier kid when I was younger. I was always tall, yeah, but I wasn't as lanky like this before.
You can never tell.
I was a little bit more stocky when I was younger.
You can never tell.
So I never thought that modeling would be something that I wanted to do.
Right.
From just how the standards and everything are. It wasn't something that also appealed to me either. I always was very into comedy and things like that. So I really wanted to be into acting. And when I was into acting, the instructors and the teachers that I had there pretty much let me know that, like, if you want your best shot at being an actor, you need to get into modeling too, because you never know where that attention or that break may come from. So that's how I got into modeling, and it just happened that my interest in modeling carried on past my, passion for acting. Because once, like, I know we spoke a little bit about this before the show started, acting is a big hustle, just like with everything else, oftentimes, especially when you're trying to fight for attention and to get noticed, In a lot of these creative fields, there is an immense amount of people that are skilled and talented, but, that's not the only factor that it takes to get paid and get noticed, So I just realized, like, I didn't want to be traveling around and doing auditions and spending all my time doing that anymore. And that's around the time I got into basketball. And I started playing basketball in the neighborhood and with friends, and then in school and whatnot. So soon enough, basketball was my only focus, really.
Right.
And then sophomore year of high school, I got cut from the team. Like I said, I was never that good. I got cut from the team. And that's when I realized, like, it was time for me to get back to my roots, so to speak. So I picked up my passion.
Yeah.
So that's when the whole interest in modeling and photography, so to speak, sort of arose when I started taking art classes in school again, and I started drawing on my free time again and whatnot. And from there, it was a need to make money, really, at like 14, 15 years old. So I picked up a camera and my dad
so
had a
you
camera.
started from like 15, like doing this stuff.
I've been professional since I was 14, 15.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, I started really with photography, and I used to hem and taper jeans for people.
Okay.
Yeah, I used to either taper them in and make their cuffs, like, you know, when the whole skinny jean fad was like started popularizing in my generation.
I feel
everybody
you.
still had bootcut jeans and whatnot, so I used to charge people $5 to $10 a pop, and I would taper their jeans, and if they needed them hemmed up and brought up, I would do that $5 to $15 as well.
You
know
sound
what I mean?
like me.
Yeah,
You sound like me.
We had to hustle.
Yeah, when I was in school in Barbados, so my grandmother, she's a seamstress, and my uncle, he is a tailor.
Oh, wow.
So we had a sewing machine at the house.
Yeah.
And I used to take up the girls', uniform and tuck them in. We had something called sports day at school, so I used to do that for money. I was like, so I always had this hustle.
Yeah, see,
nice.
we was in the same niche right there.
I'm telling you, we was in the same groove. Yeah.
So around that was like, that somehow kind of coincided and fell hand in hand with my photography. I don't really know how they really like, maybe because of the whole fashion photography and modeling, but somehow me doing the jeans and the sewing really coincided with my photography. And it was probably because I was doing it for myself as well. And I was like, me and my mom would go in my backyard and I would give her the camera and like kind of instruct her. And we would take my Instagram photos and stuff like that back then.
Wow, nice.
And that's how I was able to not only, just start exploring my own creativity again, but then also got interested in the camera, and I started, going with a couple other friends who were interested in photography and walking around the neighborhood and taking pictures of each other and of things. And I started doing photo shoots for money. One of my old teachers, actually, she's also my little sister's godmom. They own a dance studio, Fusion Force, out in Charlotte.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I started doing all of their photo shoots and whatnot. And then whenever any of the dancers there would need prom shoots, they would come to me. And one of my best friends, Maya, is the daughter of the owner of the Fusion Force. So, me being her best friend and her being a dancer, I got really close with a lot of her dancer friends and whatnot as well. You know what I mean? And those are just relationships that have carried on. Like we were talking about before, like one of my biggest values is in the network that I have been blessed to be a part of and build up. And it just really comes from that, not only from the work that I do, but I just happen to meet people. And I'm never really pressed on building a relationship with somebody, but a lot of these things tend to just happen organically.
Yes.
So they become valuable inherently through that.
Absolutely. I agree in networking. And as you were talking, it brought me back to your creative mind. See, God put that inside of you to be able to just hear something, see something, and know how to put it together with your creativity. That's amazing.
I appreciate that.
Oh yeah,
thoroughly.
that's pretty cool. Oh my God. So talk to me about any struggles that you faced, coming up.
It's funny because like now, I don't know. Now in my stage of my life, I have a son who is 20 months old, about to be 20 months old.
Now you're going to make
19 to 20 months old.
Wait, hold on.
I haven't done the math. Because the past 2 months have been flying by. I'm like, is it April or is it May? But anyway, I have a son who is a year and a half, and me and my girl are expecting another baby on the way. And
so a year and a half. Because this whole 20 months thing.
We be sticking with the month.
I'm trying to figure out, is it 1 year, 2 years?
When the camera's on me, I'm like, what month is it? Hold on. But now in the stage of my life, it's so funny that it's like, this is the stage where the struggle has like subsided the most. Like the struggles that are the struggles that I choose, which is like building a business and making money and doing what I have to do and everything like that. And those are very fulfilling, enriching, and refreshing struggles from some of the ones that I'm used to. Right. Now those struggles are like just like residual, you know what I mean? Like emotional baggage and trauma or whatnot. Because before, and this is a lot of time where me and Semaj were spending a lot of time together, and I felt like a lot of us in our age were all going through similar things. Semaj used to have a house in Harrisburg, and I used to spend so much time over there because before that, I was living with a friend, because before that, the house that I was living in for like 12 years, the house that I moved from Buffalo, New York down here into, and then me and my parents, and then soon enough, my younger sister and my older sister, she sometimes would live in Buffalo and sometimes would live down here. Eventually, like maybe a year or two after I got out of high school, it got foreclosed. So that was, really hard for me personally. And a little bit before the foreclosure, my mom and dad had split up. And a little bit before that, my dad was in jail for like 3 years. So it was just like a lot of like, it was like everything was refreshing, everything. And it was like from like middle school, and then the summer before I got to high school, my dad got locked up for like 6 months. And then he got out during my freshman year. And I think it was on the same case still. So then he ended up having to go in and do his full sentence. So it was like during that whole time, like I was already dealing with like a lot of teenage angst. Like I was mad at everything. You know what I mean? Like I'm very glad that I didn't take it out in ways that I felt. But like I was mad at everything all the time. But it always just felt like I was waiting for something to reset. Like I was always waiting for something to reset. So then once I finally graduated, and I really struggled in school, like not grades wise, like my grades were always fine, but like I never wanted to be there, like, and I always was there. Like my mom was a teacher, so it wasn't oh, I'm sick, I can't go. Like she was like, boy, you better get your, like you going to school, like
you better get your behind
I done been in school sick plenty of times, like it's not, but
yes.
But so around that time, it was really, really difficult. Everything felt like I was always waiting for something to refresh and to like finally get to some sort of normalcy. Yeah. And once I felt like I was finally about to achieve that, it was like everything fell from beneath my feet.
Oh my God.
With like, my parents splitting up in the foreclosure, everything like that. So before the house got foreclosed, me and my dad was staying together, and that was really nice, because even though we both were going through our own things, and he started drinking kind of heavy around that time. Thank God he off that now. But you know what I mean? I understood what he was going through, but I'm really glad that we got to build our relationship there, because when I was growing up, my dad was always doing what he had to do, and though my parents were always together, like we was never like, we didn't really have a good relationship, because I didn't really know him, you know what I mean? Wow. Like that, like we didn't really know each other like that. And it's crazy that we so similar, but like he was doing what he had to do to take care of us, and I was just being a kid, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so, and we don't even understand.
Yeah, I wasn't concerned with what he had going on, and like, and I didn't realize that he was more concerned with what I had going on than I thought, because he wasn't physically present. And as a kid, like I didn't have the mindset to be able to fully consider everything that was going on, because I wasn't exposed to all the facts and what it take to build a life. And now that I got kids of my own, everything like that, like I get it. And I also make sure that I don't make my dad's same mistakes of taking care of us but not being there enough. You know what I mean?
I got you.
And granted, like we got very different lives, me and my dad, and there's a lot of things that he go through that I don't go through, and things I go through that he don't go through. But you know what I mean? I do things like make sure, when my son was really young, I made sure I would leave work and I would come home for bedtime and give him a bath with my lady together, and we would put him to bed together, and then I would go back to work. You know what I mean? And things like that I don't take for granted at all, because I get it. And, you know what I mean? I know what it feels like to have things like that ripped from under you, and like have abandonment issues. And like when I was a kid, I used to sit outside the bathroom. My mom was in the bathroom. Yeah. And like, cause I didn't know when she was coming out, because like, wow. You know what I mean? Like my dad had been locked up multiple times when I was a kid too. Yeah. And then my parents had me relatively young. My mom had me at like 19, 20. My dad was like 21. Right. So, you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't ever a financial struggle back then, but it was just like they was young. So it was time. Like, so they, and they didn't know exactly what they was doing. They wanted to be parents, and my mom, she was a great mom for a kid, but like they didn't know what they was doing. They didn't know. It's a lot of ways that like it's really funny and difficult to talk about, and I'm able to laugh about a lot of things now, but like ways that you end up being hurt as a kid that you didn't realize even hurt you until you got older. And especially like something I tell some of my peers now, or even my little sister, like it's some things that like I know you're gonna hate to hear, and I know it sounds cliche, because when I was young, I already knew like I was a rather intelligent person, able to consider a lot of things. I never tried to get too big for my britches, but it always bothered me when somebody would tell me like, you'll understand this, then you understand this, then, especially when I already had the capacity to understand a good bit of it. But there are so many details and nuances of life that you really don't get until you have that depth added into your life. You know what I mean? Absolutely.
And you can never really understand, especially at a specific age in your life. I tell my son all the time, he's 16. I said, you only have the capacity to understand it from a 16-year-old point of view. I know you try to understand it from, an older point or older perspective, but you will never be able to understand, because right now this is
you've been.
where you are in life. And you said something that was really deep, because you said, you know, you didn't want to be at school.
Yeah.
That's where my son is now.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't want to be here.
Yeah.
You know, when is it going to get better?
Yeah.
You know? But, and I tell him all the time, I said, you know, your mom is 40 years old. So I've been there, and I'm telling you it's going to get better. You can't see that it's going to get better now because you're 16, but it's going to get better.
Yeah, and it's all about how you set yourself up and focus on yourself. And it's funny, like you say that, like, so I go back and paint a picture, right? Like I said, my mom was a teacher, and she went and she got her, not only her bachelor's while I was in school, like not while I was in school, I was a kid. Like I remember I used to go to college with her when I was younger. And I thought that the cafeteria was a buffet. I didn't know she was paying for all that food. So I'm over here getting coffee, ice cream, and cookies and all that. And she's swiping her card with tears in her eyes, like, this boy don't know I'm paying for all of this. But after that, you know, when I was in middle school or elementary school, she went on to get her master's degree.
Yes.
And then whenever she was pregnant with my younger sister, she started getting her doctorate degree, which she's still in the process of doing now.
That's amazing.
She had to take a break and do all of that and whatnot. But with that, and my relationship with school, all through school, like once I got to high school and whatnot, like I said, I did really good in school. Like I graduated with like a 4.6 or something like that, like top 20 in my class.
Isn't it not 4.0? It goes past 4.0?
Yeah, you got like, they got like weighted, like I don't really know. But
oh, really?
It was something like that. It was something like that. Like,
yeah.
And I pretty much lied about wanting to go to college the whole time.
Really?
Because I knew like it wasn't like, especially when my pops was locked up, I got to a point where it was like me and my mom was in a big, like, we both hard-headed.
Right.
And she was so focused and pressed on, like, having me avoid her fears. And I was pressed on my life being what my life was going to be.
I got you.
So it was a point where it was like she wasn't taking no for answering certain things.
Right.
And, like, I'm me. You know what I mean? And at a certain point, especially I'm 16, like, there was nothing that I wanted to do. You know what I mean? When your parents say you can't just do everything you want. But to me, that was ridiculous back then because there's nothing I want to do that's crazy. You know what I mean? I only want to do what's good for me and what I enjoy. You know what I mean? So I should be able to do everything I want.
so like,
we butt heads, and I would just lie to her all the time. Like I would just lie to her, and like I didn't really feel any way about it because like it's like you want this for me, but I don't want that. And I'm not going to allow you to make me do something I don't want. So I just lie to you and just tell you whatever you want to hear.
Interesting.
And I will go on and do what I need to do and what I wanted to do. You know what I mean? So once I got through school and got out of school, I did say to a point I wanted to go to school for fashion design, which was the truth. I was going to go to New York, and I was going to go to a trade school for fashion design with the New York School of Fashion Design.
That's amazing.
And it was going to do like a 6 to 8 month program.
Okay.
And me and my best friend that I was living with after my house got foreclosed, we lived on the same street for like over 10 years. So once my house got foreclosed, I was able to just kind of transition and move up the street with him and stay in the neighborhood and just, you know what I mean? His mom was into real estate, so she was always traveling. So whenever she would travel, she would always tell him, like, tell the artist to come over. Like, I don't want you in that house alone. Like, tell him to come over.
Right.
And he would be like, you don't even got, like, he already right here. Like, you know what I mean? So
you don't got to ask no questions.
So we would already be together. Yeah. So when I got to move in with him, it was a really big help. And we wanted to move to New York together. So we ended up, like, my first trip, like, even though I'm from upstate New York, I didn't even go to the city until, like, after I graduated high school. Wow. My first trip into the city was when me and him went together to go look at schools and, you know what I mean, and kind of get an idea for what we'll be doing. And along that course of time, you know what I mean, and me and my girlfriend have been together since we were sophomores in high school. So she's originally from up there. And she was going to be down here. Okay. And we was going to, like, move and try to do this long distance thing. Yeah. And me and my best friend just realized, like, dude, like, we looking at apartments and whatnot.
The prices is not the same.
And at the time, I'm working at Harris Teeter. Yes. And then I go to working at Domino's. And I'm like, dude, I'm not putting up enough money to do this. And we both just decided, like, yo, we might as well stay in North Carolina. Like, and the way that everything was going in Charlotte, like, the art scene was developing, everything like that. So we both just decided to stay. Granted, now he ended up continuing his fashion design. Now he lives in San Francisco, and I'm so proud of him. That's like my younger brother for real. So
wow,
I'm
that's
really,
amazing.
really proud of him.
Like
he's
that.
going to school for design and everything like that. When we talk, I ask him how he's doing. He like, man, I'm doing my homework, all that stuff. I'm like, man, I love to hear that. You know what I mean? I really love to hear, especially me. Like, I didn't go to school, and I didn't want to go to school. So it's extremely interesting. And I have a lot of passion in people's interests when that is what they wanted to do. You know what I mean? Even people like, when I meet people and I'm like, what you do for work? And I'm like, oh, I'm a data analyst. And I'm like, I can't even imagine what your day is like. So like, I'm really interested. I'm like, what do you do? Like when you clock in, how does your day start? What do you do? Like, you know what I mean? Because all I've been into is this art stuff. It's like, that's all I do. I do art. I make art. Like, you know what I mean?
But you're living your dream.
Exactly.
That's the thing. Every day that you get up, you do exactly what you want to do.
Yeah.
And you know what? That is amazing that someone can just say, this is what I want to do, and I'm going to make money doing it.
Yeah.
This is what I feel like I was put on earth to do, and I'm going to go after my passion.
Absolutely.
And I want to say something about your mother making you wanted to go to school, and that was because she knew that you were smart. She knew that you were bright.
Yeah.
So she wanted the best for you.
Yeah.
And in her mind, going to school is what was the best for you.
And it's funny you say that, because it's a similar like dichotomy of like what you were saying about with your son, and like you can only imagine from the perspective of a 16-year-old.
That's right.
But it's also the same thing, because like everything has multiple dimensions and facets.
Yes.
And they can rotate and turn, and you know, two sides of something can face each other while the other two sides are facing away. You know what I mean? So it's funny because at the same time, like her being, you know, 30, 40 something year old woman, you can't imagine something from the perspective completely of a 16-year-old that's growing up in the 2010s.
You know
so what
correct.
I mean? You can imagine something from the perspective of a 16-year-old that was growing up in the 70s, 80s, or 90s.
Yes.
But you can't completely imagine a 16-year-old boy growing up in the 2010s and what I feel and think completely to the T. So that's why it's funny that you said that, because it's like, it's such a truth that we both, two things existed at once. So that's why we just butted heads, and I just resorted to lying. You know what I mean? I don't condone that.
Now you for real, because you know, me growing up in the 90s, because I was born in the 80s, grew up in the 90s. The 90s, computers came into place. It was the DOS system. I don't know if you know what DOS is.
No, I don't even know if I've heard that.
And then you had the floppy disk.
Yeah, I'm familiar with the floppy disk.
And you had American Online.
Oh, wow.
It was the dial-up. It was the dial-up system, so you couldn't talk on the phone when you were connecting to the internet. I just need you to
didn't know that.
You didn't know that. And in order for you to connect to the internet, you have to come off of the phone, and then you hear this turner, like that sound.
Yeah.
So growing up in the 90s, like we started the internet, we started the computers. So, but we didn't have access like you guys did. We didn't have access to all of this information.
Absolutely.
Information had to be given to us.
Yeah.
Unless you read a book, we didn't know.
Yeah.
Right now, you can pick up your phone and go on what?
All day.
Google.
Day I'm on Google. I'm on YouTube. That's what I spend my time doing.
Yeah, you can fix a car from YouTube.
I learned how to change both my car oil and my mom's car oil. YouTube.
Come on now, that's what I'm saying.
Jump in the car, doing all that, and then not even to mention all the things that I'm, into professionally and just passionate wise. Like I spend all day on Google and YouTube. Like I have to stop myself from getting in rabbit holes, because I'll be supposed to be doing something. And the whole time I'm just researching it, like for the whole session.
That's what I'm talking about. Oh my God. And then the quickness of things. So I feel like this generation now, everything needs to be fast.
Yeah.
If it's not quick, if it's not happening right now.
And it's a tough balance with that, because I saw something the other day, and I feel like one of my friends or something that has a business had posted or something, but it was just like a quote that I try to paraphrase that really like kind of struck with me, and it was talking about like how now it's probably, though that there is the most information at your hands and it's the easiest to access and execute upon whatever information you have, you know what I mean, it's probably the most difficult area to really focus. So though every market is so saturated because everybody has the same entry base level amount of skills and information, the people that are really able to focus and, not get swept up in the currents are able to strengthen their resolve and execute the best and the strongest and really dominate, you know what I mean? And whatever that may be, that's not always have to be like a competition wise, but dominate for what you want to do, you know what I mean? Whether it be mental gain, financial gain, or whatever, but I really resonated with that. I think it was like yesterday I came across that, and that really struck me because I'm able to really like sink my feet. Like, when you're in the beach and you kind of sink your toes into the sand, and then you just stand there, and it helps the rest of the sand just kind of wash over more of your feet. That's kind of how I set myself up to where, like, I found the things that I wanted to do, and instead of getting swept around and not focused, it took me a while to get focused. You know what I mean? It wasn't until 2 to 3 years out of high school, like, I always knew what I wanted to do, but that I really found the projects that I was going to slow down and spend my time working on, so that I wasn't just, making a bunch of sketches, doing a bunch of quick drawings and paintings, and, just making a bunch of singles and stuff like that, that I was able to slow down, hold on to the people close to me that I wanted to work with, tell them, yo, this is what I'm about to do here, boom, keep y'all in the loop, so then when stuff is happening, I have money for y'all and opportunities that I need y'all help with, then I'm going to do that. So that's, like, what I was able to do, and that's just a testament to, like, the past 3-4 years I've been working on a project that I just finished, like, a couple months ago.
Talk to me about the project.
So the project,
unless you don't want to.
No, I would love to talk
come
about
on,
the
let's talk about this project. Let's go.
The name is To Be Dated. So far, what I can tell you is Kurt Wagner.
What's the name?
It's To Be Dated. So I don't have the name out
yet. Okay, all right.
But so far, what I can tell you is Kurt Wagner.
Kurt Wagner.
Kurt Wagner. And the project consists of a lot of songs that I was making from the point where I had moved into the studio that I'm renting at now, and that's when I stopped staying with my mom, when I realized I couldn't live there anymore after I already lived with my friend, and then I went to live in my mom's apartment, and I was like, I can't do this no more. And then I went and I was staying in the studio that I rent at now and still work at before me and my girl first got our first apartment together. And this was, like, the hardest time of my life, you know what I mean? Like, I'm showering, like, every 3 days, going to my mama's house, like, you know what I mean? Like, it was tough, like, and, like, it was a lot of stuff that I went through from the point of our house getting foreclosed to now that really helped solidify me, me, and help, you know what I mean, wash that sand over my feet and help me, cement in the person that I want to be and who I am. And a lot of those songs were being made through that time. There was a lot of music in this project that was me purely just bleeding. It was things that there was things that I'm feeling and experiencing, and there's nothing else that I could do about it except for put it in a song for myself to enjoy and appreciate when things aren't this hard, and for other people who may be able to resonate with it, to experience and to appreciate themselves. And I'm so grateful that the community that I've continued to be a part of and help support, nurture, and as well build in turn has found that. And even though the music isn't out yet, they've been able to connect with it and likewise in turn with theirs. You know what I mean? When you meet somebody and it's like, dang, like, I didn't even know somebody could feel this how I was feeling this. You know what I mean? Because before that, it was only me and my girl. Like, she was the only one who got me. You know what I mean? She was the only one who really saw the things that was happening and the things that was going on interpersonally with me, and how I in turn interacted with the world because of that. And there's a song I do have on my project called On Someone, and that's probably my favorite song, because what I say about that song is it's everything I could say about all the things I don't know what to say anything about.
Wow.
And I know that's a mouthful.
It is a mouthful. You said On Someone?
On Someone, yeah.
Do you have it? Wait, is it released?
It's not released, but if you want to hear it, I can play it.
Yeah, so I want you to send it to Semaj, and we'll play a little clip of it. Not too much.
Nah, for sure.
Because we didn't want to, push it out there. But we'll play a little clip of that on the show. The hook in that song was pretty much goes like, I was broke too long. I think that ish changed me. I really wish it didn't. And like, that's so simple. Yes.
But when you like know me or have been there through it all, and like I'm always smiling and laughing, and I'm really into, like I said before, even with the acting, I'm really into comedy. One of the ways that me and my parents have always bonded has been movies and inside jokes and things like that. Yeah. So I've always been really into comedy and laughing and everything like that. So like sometimes you can't always tell that like certain things have gone down. I remember having a conversation with one of my friends, and I'm laughing and I'm telling him this stuff about like how I was going through this, and this when I first things first started getting stable. I started making a little bit of money, you know what I mean? It's before my son was even born, like, and I first was able to, like, me and my girl got an apartment. Everything was starting to level out, and I'm laughing and telling one of my close friends about all this stuff that I had been going through, and I remember he is like, dang near in tears.
Yes.
And I'm like, you good, bro? And he's like, bro, I didn't even know you were going through all of this.
It's crazy. It's crazy. And you still had a smile on your face the entire time. Yeah. And you still had you still had a smile on your face the entire time.
Yeah.
My God.
I got the
and
word from the big man. If you want me to play it, I can.
Yeah, absolutely. Pull it up. Let's hear a little bit of that song. And you know what? You said something about your girls. You said that she's been the only one.
She's been the only one. My girl, Scylla Vanilla.
Scylla Vanilla. What is what's her name?
Scylla Vanilla. That's what I call her.
Scylla Vanilla. Shout out to Scylla Vanilla.
Queen Scylla. That's my baby. Nah, she's my everything for real. Like I wouldn't like. I always have said, like, even in the past, like, she like my anchor. Like, I'm able to float around the world and do all of this up in the sky and in the stars and have all these lofty ideas and do all these crazy things because she keep me anchored. Like, while I'm out doing what I have to do and what I feel is necessary to take care of us, she at home with our son. Like, you know what I mean? She give me a place to come home to and to, you know, feel okay, you know what I mean? Sometimes she get mad at me because sometimes when I'm at home, like the days where I am completely at home, where I don't do no work and I just be home with my family, sometimes I be in the car. And she'd be so mad. She'd be like, wake up, like I want to spend time with you. And it's such a testament to how comfortable she makes me to where I'm there. There's nothing that I have to worry about outwardly, like, you know what I mean? I don't have to be on guard, tense, or like, you know what I mean, making sure this is going this way and cracking the reins here and making this call, telling this person this and watching my back here, whatever. Like, I'm comfortable, I'm at ease, and don't nobody know where I live. So like I just be there asleep like sometimes. So it
is a testament to have that support.
Yeah, she really supported me
you
for real,
1,000%.
And she always believed in me. Like from when we was kids, we grew up together. So when we was kids, I saw her intelligence. She was the first person I met that I felt like, honest to God, they smarter than me. Like, and not on some like, oh, she get better grades than me. Like, nah, forget all of that. Like, it wasn't about that. It was about like real life. Cause I got good grades and stuff, but like that didn't matter to me because I was aware of life and I knew that once I got out of school, I didn't know how to do this, that, and the third, and I didn't feel prepared to do it. So I met her and I was like, yo, shawty know life. Like, she got it going on. She know how to do taxes and stuff like that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, she got it going on. Like, I really, really like that. Yeah. And not to mention, like, she dropped dead gorgeous and she saw my potential. You know what I mean? This is my baby right here.
We need a picture of shorty. So I want you to hand that over so we can pull it up.
I got you.
Yeah. All right. Play your song for me. Play that song for me.
I got you.
Play the hook that you are, I think we got to put on our headphones so that we can hear it.
Oh, okay, say no more.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's listen to this song. And to my audience, out there, I hope you guys love this.
And we got this project dropping. It should be coming in June.
It should be coming in
June?
It
should be coming in June. My shawty's birthday is Juneteenth, so I might drop it around there.
Okay, nice. Wait, I can't figure out this. Okay, hold on. Let's see. Okay, I can't figure this out.
You turn it like that.
Okay, go on.
I got you.
Hey, help me out. Okay, see?
Yeah, they had a lot going on with these ones.
All right, thank you.
No problem.
All right, let's hear the song.
Okay, let's see. My apologies. I got like
that's all right.
13 different mixes of it in my phone. I gotta play the final one.
The final one. So, okay, what's the name of the song?
The song is On Someone.
On Someone.
On Someone. Yeah, this is my favorite song.
This is your favorite song.
Made. Like when I made this song, I feel like you know how in most like recording booths, like you got the little window, and then you know what I mean. And when I'm recording, I record with my homie Cino, The Bridge. That's the big movement we got going on. The Bridge, that's his company. That's where we do our recording. He got events going on, all that. So I'm a big rapper. I rep The Bridge.
Listen, I need to use you guys. Yeah. Listen, there's some stuff coming up right now that I need to use.
And The Bridge, that's his whole thing. He'll get you from point A to point B.
I love that.
Call it The Bridge. You connect with who you need to on The Bridge for sure.
Ooh, so, The Bridge?
Yeah, The Bridge. Yep.
All right, connect me to The Bridge.
My homie Cino, we are really close. He's a couple years older than me, but I've known him since I was like in middle school, and we've been friends since like that. So, I record with him and I like recording with him because I'm really comfortable. I've gotten to grow a lot in my recording process with him. But when I made this song, I think I was turned around because I knew it was about to do something to me and I didn't want to like get distracted or like if I shed a tear, like I didn't want to stop. You know what I mean? So I was like in the booth like this, like nah, like hold on, we about to get into something right now. But this is the song.
All right, let's hear it.
Closer with it. I'm crossing the oceans with this. This shit so surreal. Loose and distant. I was close to really. We done lost too much. I ain't been caught but really. This shit might cost too much. I'm in the lucky bunch. We all been one-on-ones. Ain't no one and done though. I know my duty wrong. I know I need to put it down. Put that rush, nigga. Do you know the feeling? I was broke too long. And that shit changed me. I really wish it did it. Back to back, so really. My cop caps and Philly. Just double down and split it. Go pound for pound for chicken. Look out, just mind your business. Fuck Hawks been fade appealing. Put a pedals, but a danger dealing. My pedal already singing. He jacket tag, his gravy digging. I don't blame my page, nigga. Lady sick of this. I bet my nuts on it. I came up disciplined. It might all burn up. Shit, I seen it happen. On my P's and carrots. Stack your merit. Too surreally. I was broke too long. And that shit changed me. I really wish it didn't. That shit did me. I think that shit did me. Really wish it didn't. I was broke too long. This shit too surreally. I think that shit changed me. Really wish it didn't.
Nice.
Yeah, that's the
I love it. I love it. I love it.
Appreciate that.
Oh my God. Oh my God. That is amazing. Okay, you have another song called Shake and Bake.
Shake and Bake.
I hear that's the most popular
That's probably my most popular song.
Okay.
You want me to play it?
Yeah, just a little bit. Just a little bit.
I would love to. Hey, I would love to. I love the music I make, so I would love to play it.
See, I think I can sing. I
would love to be able to sing. I cannot sing.
You can't sing?
No, not at all.
Okay. So I think I can sing, but my praise and worship team be telling me, Pastor Keisha, don't do it. It's not.
They be playing you?
It's not. Yeah.
Man.
They be telling me it's not my strong suit. You
Oh,
know?
man.
But I beg to differ. You know what I'm saying?
You gotta believe in yourself. You know, at the end of the day, it's what you feel.
That's what I'm saying, because
you know what I mean.
You know, when I look,
if the only concert you give is shower concerts, that's okay.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so watch this. When I grew up, I grew up in Barbados, right? That's where I'm from. And I was in the Richest Stout Teen Talent Contest in Barbados.
Oh, wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
No, for sure. So you got a little bit of credibility with that.
I got a little bit. And, you know, I used to sing in church and stuff like that. But they don't want me to sing. I don't know.
They afraid you're going to outshine them. That's the problem. They were like, nah, next time, if Keisha come up here singing, they're going to tell the rest of the choir to go home. And we cannot have that. That's their problem. I'm sure of it.
Yeah, I have another friend that she wants to rap so bad. Her name is Ashley Okafor, and I'm shouting her out now.
Okafor.
Yes, she can rap. And I want, I'm trying to connect her with Semaj so that she could go into the studio and do her thing, because she's really talented. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So I'm shouting her out now. Ashley Okafor, you need to, do your music. Okay.
I would love to see
All
her
right,
get
let me hear Shake and Bake. Give me a little bit of Shake and Bake.
This is shaking. Oh, I'm not connected no more.
You disconnected it.
I was like, what's going on? That's still on someone.
Okay, guys, so I want everyone to listen to Shake and Bake.
Yeah,
Tell me what you think.
Shake and Bake is already out.
It's already out.
Shake and Bake is already out. So
Where is it on?
It's on Apple Music, Tidal, Spotify. The only place it's not on is on SoundCloud, and that's by just me slacking.
Okay.
For hot 30s fresh out. I damn near tripled up. Run a little route, sit still, don't lose none. Busy with the count, get tuned up. Keep running good rules, red hair and just the new sense. Niggas acting like I'm new at this. Old flavor proof, little pressure in it. Moose boy is poof. I ain't sweating that. I chalk petty L's up. Business been too good to stress. Watch how Ricky Bobby shake and bake. Oh, we cooking now. Watch. No look past. I ain't there, but he good for that. Little light fair on the box to the BB and his friends in the A. Folks say mind the biz that pay. See no getting a raise. I ain't counted up in days. Bought a big bag of greens and I ain't cooked that. I just filled the car with gasoline and I brought it back. Already. Watch how I boil down 4 for 4, cut a little rut and I turn
turned it around.
Nice. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, so other than so I know you did modeling, you did acting. Are there any movies that you've done acting for?
No. So acting, it's so funny. When I was younger, my older sister was always the one into drawing and whatnot.
Okay.
And I was the one that was into acting.
Yeah.
And then right around the time that I realized I didn't want to get into acting no more, it was like we completely switched.
Oh,
like,
wow.
She is the actor now, and
Right.
I am completely in the arts.
On the art
like,
side.
I'll do things around, like, like my friends do like skits or stuff like that. I do it, but I really don't spend my time in acting anymore. Like I said before, like that was really like I realized that's not my hustle. Like I'm not gonna spend my time going to auditions and stuff like that.
I got you. Painting. So we know about the
Painting.
music.
I paint every day.
Let's talk about the painting.
Absolutely.
What type of painting do you do? And you gonna have to like send. We need to see some of the work.
I sent Semaj a bunch of photos.
Nice,
so definitely
nice,
you guys can have
awesome.
some for sure.
Okay. So we're gonna put up some of your photos. Talk to me about your painting.
So when I paint and I draw, I focus on the figure a lot. And I feel like there are probably a few reasons for that. One is just because people interest me, and I find the human form like extremely beautiful and riveting.
When you say you focus on the figure, you mean people?
People, yeah, the human figure and the human form. I enjoy appreciating it and depicting it a lot, and it's a challenge for me as well. Like when I draw something, especially when I grew up drawing, and I know what I'm looking at, and then I know what I draw, and I'm like, this don't look like that. You know what I mean? Like, and I feel like that's something that like a lot of people that didn't grow up artists or aren't artists, like that was like, man, I can't draw. I wish I could draw. And I'm like, we all go through that. You know what I mean? Like you spend so much time making terrible art before you make anything that's remotely good. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So it's a struggle to get through. So I grew up doing that. I've always been drawing since I was a very, very little kid. As long as I could hold a pencil and remember, I always been drawing. But it wasn't really until the past 2 to 3 years that I started getting good at it. Like,
really?
Yeah, to my standards.
To your standards.
And really in the past year, like that I started being like, okay, like I can get down with this. You know what I mean? Like before people would see it and they'd be like, oh, that's dope. Like, you know what I mean? But like, it's not dope to me. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I understand.
It's underwhelming to me and subpar to me. But just in the past year, like I have been focusing for one super heavy, especially more so in the past 2 years, especially since my son been born. Like I've been super laser focused, like locked in. Like it's no BSing around no more. Like I don't go to kickbacks and chill, hang out. Like I work. Like so I draw and I paint and I focus on the human form a lot, and it just interests me, as well as like my paintings. They take me a long time because I always get super invested in what's going on. And
how long does your paintings take you?
The last painting that I finished didn't take me that long because it was really just a portrait. Like I had a picture I was painting for somebody. It was of a grandmother. One of my friends commissioned a portrait of like her lady friend's grandmother and her when she was younger, and that took me like maybe a month and a half, and that was only like 11 by like or 12 8 by 12 or something like that. Like it was like this big. But it took me a long time. And Semaj has a picture of that too, so you'll be able to see that as well.
Wow.
It took me a minute to do, and that really wasn't that long for me. And that's because I struggle with my focus a lot in general. So I'm like 97% sure I'm ADHD and just like never really got diagnosed. And like it sounds funny, but like then when you know what I mean? Like when you start researching and doing these things, you're like, why does this make so much sense? But I can never really work on something for more than 2 hours at a time. And even 2 hours can be a stretch. Sometimes it's really more so like 45 minutes, an hour. So I do a lot of like, that's why I was appreciating you at the Mamba mentality up here. Because I really got this mindset from Kobe a lot with compounding and work efforts, Yes. So I may work for 45 minutes and then I may take a 20 to 45 minute break and then I'm back working 45 minutes. But by the end of the day, and then by the end of the week, I have put so much more work in than I would have if I tried to sit here and burn myself out working 3-4 hours at a time and then end up getting distracted an hour and a half in and then spent the other 2 hours like doing minimal work. When for those 45 minutes that I am working, I'm locked in working, you know what I mean?
I got you.
So a painting will usually take me a really long time because I do get super invested in what's going on. And one of the differences with my art, visual art, and my music is that my music is super like I'm selfish with my music. Like I don't care what anybody feel or think when it comes to my music.
Nice.
Because it just has to do with me. Like anything else that somebody else feels or resonates with them is just a byproduct of where our paths align. You know what I mean? But when it comes to my art, I have so much duty injected into it. And it's probably also because I've been doing it for a long time.
Okay.
And so I have probably taken on biases from other artists and things like that. But when I make art, it has to be important to me, but it also has to, like, if I'm going to spend this much time on something, I don't want to do it and then the idea was just BS. Like, it has to be heavy. Like, I have to be thinking about this and, like, it has to say something. You know what I mean? Yeah. It has to be about something. Even if it can't say it, it has to be about what it can't say. You know what I mean?
I understand.
So I really get injected into that, and I really spend a lot of time working and reworking things. So there was a period of time where I wasn't painting that much, and I realized it's because I didn't have the mastery over, you know, my skill set that I wanted. Okay. So I took like 2 years, and I was just drawing. I was drawing. I was drawing so much people, figures, you know, just I have notebook or sketchbook pages filled up with just straight lines, circles, swivels, swoops, and all sorts of things like that, just working on my dexterity and things. And like it's amazing having the friends that I do have that are a part of this creative community as well, even though most of them are not as into visual arts. Most of them are into like music and things like that. But it's amazing because of them also having artistic processes. So then they see my work, and then when I could show them like look what this is what I've been doing. This is what took me to get here. So they able to appreciate that, and that feel good because, like, you know what I mean, they always say like it don't look as good as it feel. Or I mean, it don't feel as good as it look. Like it looked great, but it don't feel that great. You know what I mean?
Your art speaks. You know, your art speaks. Whenever you create something, it is saying something. Yeah. It sends a message out there.
Absolutely.
So, do you sell your art?
Yeah, I do sell my art right now. My website is Debra.work. It's under construction currently. But in the next week it'll be back live and everything. But Debra.work, Debra.work is where I sell my art at. Currently there's just some older paintings up there. There are still paintings up, but currently there's some older paintings and prints. But though the past, like I said, I have this project coming out.
Yeah.
The past couple months I've been working on the cover art for the project, and that's really what is taking the longest on the rollout. Is I'm physically painting the cover art.
Wow.
So once the cover art is done, thank you, that's when the rollout will begin. So it's been a lot of like with the cover art, developing the idea as I'm working. And it was a big growing process where before I felt like I would get so wrapped up in like trying to figure out what the idea is before I start. With this project, it's been a really big growing process where I've been able to just start and allow it to happen and come to fruition. And as I'm developing it, I'm starting to realize what the idea is. And I was able to like make that make sense to some of my other friends, where like imagine it like where you freestyling, and after you done freestyling, you was like, that was a bunch of nonsense. But then you freestyle, after you done freestyling, you was like, yo, that was deep.
Dope.
You know what I mean? That's kind of how I liken it to that, where like I'm not trying to so hard to think about what it is first, instead of just deciding that it is something. And as I'm working, discovering what that is and attaching my own importances and, you know, weight to certain things.
I love that.
I appreciate it.
I have 2 questions for you.
Absolutely.
So my first question is, as it relates to your paintings, can someone reach out to you and say, okay, I need you to paint this, this portrait, this thing of me? Or do you paint and sell what you paint? So, or is it specific?
Yeah, my biggest push is my originals.
Okay.
The paintings that I just make, you know what I mean? Because that's obviously what I want to spend my most time doing. Right. And I'm really privileged to be able to be picky and selfish in the ways that I am, because that's the reason I stopped doing photography, is that people would come to me and the ideas would be boring. And I didn't want to do that, but like I needed money. So I would just be spending time editing pictures that were boring to me. You know what I mean? So like now I'm really grateful and extremely privileged and filled with gratitude that I'm at a position in life where like I could turn down work, you know? So I definitely welcome people to come to me with commissions. But if it's not something I want to do, I'm not going to do it.
I got you.
I'm going to always be respectful and courteous and appreciative of anybody coming to me, appreciating my work and whatnot.
Yeah.
But I just let them know, like, this is not a commission I'm interested in taking, or I may literally not have the time to tackle it, even if it is an idea I really want to do. Sometimes I just won't have the time to tackle that specific idea. But I am commission open, but I am very picky and selective with the commissions I take.
Interesting.
Because I want to be able to have fun with it. And like I said, I inject myself into it. So if you want to paint for me, and if I agree to do it, it may take 3 to 6 months. Right. But when you get it back, you're going to love it. Like, it's not going to be, you're not going to like it.
I'm going to have to take you up on that offer.
Absolutely.
Because I'm doing over my house. You know, I was told that I need to put some decor in my home.
I hear you. Now, having some nice refreshing. That's one thing that my lady has showed me for sure. Like I said, I used to live in my studio. Like, I ain't have nothing like it was an air mattress in there and like art supplies.
Exactly.
And now, you know what I mean? Now I live in an apartment with my shorty and she done got the whole thing whipped up. She got the cord around everything
hooked
and,
up.
oh my God, coming home feel good. Like, it's nice in there. Like, it's so nice. Yes. Like, I can't even believe, sometimes I don't even believe in that I live there. Like, this is my house. Like, this is so nice here.
Oh my God. So I am going to have to order me a painting from you.
Absolutely.
All right, and you and I, we can discuss price and all that stuff afterwards.
For sure.
But it would be great, you know, for me to get something from you so I can show, you know, my guests, look at the amazing work that this young man has done.
I appreciate that. I would love that.
So next thing, I want you to give words of a word or words of encouragement to anybody out there, because the Keisha Parris Show is all about motivating, right? Yeah. We want to push people to their potential. And that's why I ask you specific questions about your struggles and where you're coming from. Because what it does, it gives people out there, young men, young women out there who has a dream that says, you know what, it doesn't matter what you want from me. I know what I want from me, but you knew at a young age what your passion was. And sometimes not everybody knows what their passion is. Like me doing this show, I am living my dream. And I didn't even know it was something that I really wanted to do. But I know that I wanted to give back to the world. Yeah. And I know that there were so many people that needed to be motivated. Absolutely. Right? And push towards their potential and go for the universe. Because I don't think that the stars is too limited, but the universe is out there. You know what I mean? Sure. So my thing is to push people to their complete potential. So after saying that, I want you to give a word of encouragement.
Absolutely. I would love to.
So look directly in that camera.
My MO. Words of encouragement.
Yes,
is my MO.
Let's do it.
Without being too long-winded, Semaj knows, all my people that I have love for and I got love for me know I'm hard on my friends, and it's because I want better for them. But I don't want better for you than you want for yourself. So the first rule one is want the best for yourself. No matter what nobody else want for you, no matter what nobody told you capable of or whatever, because you don't know what you're capable of. I don't know what I'm capable of. I know some things I'm capable of, but I don't know my limits. Like, nobody knows they true limits until you hit them, but your limits are ever receding. So want the best for yourself first and foremost, and set yourself up in any way that you can. Things are going to be hard. That's one thing right there. So before I ever say that, actually, this is the most important thing I will say. Nobody has an easy life. From the richest man to the poorest man, from the most healthy man to the least healthy man, woman, child, dog, cat. Nobody has an easy life. Everybody's life has struggles. You can ask Jeff Bezos, is your life easy? He probably going to tell you, no, my life not easy, boom, boom, boom. But then you go ask anybody living any lower middle class, in poverty, whatever, they going to look at him like he crazy. Everybody has a hard life. You don't want your life to be easy. Don't ask for easy. You work for strength. You work to be more capable to handle anything that life throw at your way. Now, if you can't handle it, I don't know what to tell you. Like, everybody got different limits, like we said, but we don't know what our limits are. But you gotta somehow try to, if you can't handle it, find somebody that love you, pretty much. If you can't handle it, find somebody that you can lean on and that can hold you down while you struggling and while you hurt, so that when you cried enough, when you are healed enough, then boom, you got that inspiration, you got that motivation, and you can strive to be stronger. But that's it right there. Nothing gonna be easy. You gotta just work to get stronger. You gotta, when you lift weights, lifting the weights is gonna get easier. But then once you get strong enough to lift that weight, you only hurting yourself by not upping the weight, and you only hurting your progress. Life is never going to be easy. It's only going to be filled with struggles. There's going to be things that are beautiful. There's going to be things that are fun. There's going to be things that are painful, hard, and scary. But overall, life is a struggle. We struggle every day through life. That's why that's why you literally got growing pains. When you grow up, your body hurt while it's growing, because it's growing. It's getting stronger. It always is going to hurt. And you just got to find ways to appreciate that. And then the second most important thing I would probably say is design your life so that, and this is not directly from me, I did not come up with this, I got this off of YouTube or something, but it really resonates with me, is design your life so that you wake up like every day is a vacation. Like you wake up like, I can't believe I get to be this guy. And that comes with not changing how you are, but changing who you are. So I'll exemplify that by saying, you may want to be or want to have a job that pays you $200,000 a year, and you may want to be able to, spend this amount of time with your family and work out this many days or whatever. But instead of trying to see what you can do to do that, instead decide who you can be and how your life can be to accomplish those things. So say, no, I am the person that has $100,000 a year job. So what is it that I need to do to get to my goal? Because that is me. You're not the person that has the $45,000 job. That's not who you are in your soul. If you are that person, whatever. Now I know that's a very shallow example, but that's just like trying to take something lofty and textualize it. You know what I mean? Like, you got to change who you are, not how you are. For everything that you want in life, you have to be that person. You can't try to attain that and then become that person. You have to be that person for what you want, because all the material things and outside things are just feathers. They're just like, it's just like frou-frou, you know what I mean? It doesn't really mean anything. What means something is what you did, who you are, the people you connected with, and the impact that you made to become that person. That's what the universe resonates with. All the other things are just patterns and waves that, rotate, satellites that revolve around those objects and whatnot, and things like that. So, like, that's really the most important thing, is nothing's going to be easy. We don't ask for easy, we ask for strength. We don't change how we are, we change who we are.
That's right.
Period.
Amen. I like that. So to everyone out there, don't change who you are.
How you are.
Don't change how you are.
Yeah, and that's not saying like, be different, be a different person, but change who you are. Like, for instance, if right now you're the person that keep failing at what you want to do, keep not getting your goals, don't change your goals. Don't make your goals something that's so impossibly hard for you to accomplish. You got to work up. So then, okay, boom, I'm not the person that is accomplishing my goals. So in order for me to accomplish my goals, I have to think about what goals can I realistically accomplish to get to the next level that I want to be. You can't go from making zero money to making $100,000 immediately. You got to go from making zero money to making a little bit of money, to making a little bit of more money, to then, multiplying and compounding that. So that's another thing that I'm glad that that brought me to that, because that is where people hurt themselves so much. And I do it. I did it, and I do it all the time. And it's because we're filled with ambition. You know what I mean? We want to do the best. We want to do the most. And then we have like this hustle about us, and especially with the culture and everything like that. But you will burn yourself out. You will destroy yourself from the inside out and outside. And I did it. Like, I still struggle. That's what On Someone is about. Like, I can't sit still. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I want to go home and spend time with my family more than I do, but something in me make me go to work. Like, sometimes, you know what I mean? Absolutely. And it's definitely toxic, traits that fall in line with that. But it's like, you gotta slow down, for one, live in the moment. That's the most difficult thing at all. Outside of everything else that you try to do, because everything else is a passive, is an active thing. Living in the moment is a passive thing. Like, there's not an action. It's not doing anything. It's just being. Yes. And that's difficult.
Staying in the present. Because what happens to your mind is we tend to either live in the past or we live in the future. But being in the now, being in the present is one of the hardest things.
That's what condenses you right there. Like, that's what focuses all your energy and all your strength and attention into the point that where every action that you do take is going to be a stomp versus just tiptoeing. When you focus on the past and too much in the future, and all you're doing is just your mind is putty. And
all
right
over the place.
Now, what's the strength? What can you really do with that? But if you
hone in on right now.
You know what I mean? Then you got have all of that focus, all of that energy, all of that strength from all your future ambitions and your past experiences.
That's
now can be focused into one point.
Absolutely. I love it. Thank you so much,
Thank
Debra.
you very much for having me.
I appreciate you being here.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
appreciate you being here. And I want to thank each and every one of you for joining me on the Keisha Parris Show. So listen, I want each and every one of you to push forward. Life is not easy.
Life is not easy.
Life is not easy. We're going to have struggles. We're going to have situations that come up, but you don't stop. You keep pushing. Don't stop. Keep going. And don't change.
Don't stop. Get it. Don't change how you are. Change who you are.
Don't change how you are. Change who you are.
And that's about the things that you don't appreciate about yourself. Don't change nothing you appreciate about yourself.
Exactly.
You like your character, keep your character. You don't like your character, change your
character.
Exactly.
That's it. Exactly. Because if you, for example, like if you know that you need to be at a healthy weight, change it. You know, if you don't like how your hair is, change it. You can change.
Yeah.
You can put.
And that's not discounting how difficult that is.
Exactly.
But it's all about where you start with your mindset.
Thank you.
Because you can't still be the person that is this, but wanting to get that.
That's
you have
right.
to be this person
That's
and
right.
then work on getting that.
Thank you. So it's accepting you for you and making any necessary changes to make you better. That's what I'm talking. I like you.
Right back at you.
Yeah, absolutely. This was an amazing episode with Debra. Debra, shout out your website, your Instagram.
So we got Debra.work. My Instagram is Avatar Debra. Twitter, Avatar Debra. Yeah, that's it. Avatar Debra everywhere. You can find me. Project coming soon. Hopefully June, fingers crossed. But we definitely got more music dropping before then. So just keep a lookout. We got When Logan Plays, Terry on Apple Music, Ubisoft on Apple Music, Spotify, all that. Shake and Bake. Go check me out.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Shouts out to the 716. Shouts out to my boo. Shouts out Cino. Shouts out Silla. Shouts out Bronx.
Shout out Barbados.
Shouts out Barbados. We got shouts out all our island people out there.
Yeah, all the island folks. All of my island people. Shout out to you. Ooh. My father's birthday was on May 16th.
Happy belated birthday.
Thank you. So I am shouting out my dad, Mr. Ellsworth Clark.
Shouts out Papa Ellsworth.
AKA Midnight. Dad. Daddy, I love you. So happy belated birthday to you. And may God continuously bless you. Thank you so much that I am here. Because if it wasn't for you and my mommy, I wouldn't be here today. So God bless you. God bless you. And join me again for another show of the Keisha Parris Show. May God bless each and every one of you. And thank you for Debra for joining me. We got to do this again.
Absolutely.
This was nice. This was fun.
Sure.
All right. God bless you, everyone. Blessings. And may the Lord be with you.